Now, one other thing you can do is use two for loops to create a grid. And one of the easiest ways to do this is there's a couple notes. One is to set the scale of what you want your dimensions or your grid to be. So in this case, I'm creating a variable called SCL. Again, scale is a built-in function, so we don't want to call our variable names the same as a built-in function. I'm saying scale is equal to 20. And then I'm using the for loop to manipulate the value of x, and I'm going to eventually use it for the value of y. So if I want to do two for loops together. In this case, what I'm doing is I'm saying x is equal to 0, and as long as x is less than the width, change the value of x by the scale. So I'm going to add the scale, so plus 20, each time this runs, and I'm going to make my box at position x, 0, scale, and scale. So this is going to be a box that moves over in that direction. And so I'm drawing a box that goes over directly by this much. If I just did, by 100, we'll see that this will draw 5 boxes, right? But because I'm setting it to the width here, what this means is if I change the size of my canvas, 800, it will respond accordingly. The next step is to use another for loop. And so I'm going to do for int y equals 0, while y is less than the width, or less than the height. Y equals y plus SCL. And then I give it another bracket, and I need to do another bracket along the outside. Shift T or Command T to space everything out correctly. And here I'm going to use Y. So I'm drawing the rectangle at position X and Y, and it's being moved over by the scale each time. And I will get a grid of images this way. And this is where, say I wanted to add in a different fill for each one. Fill 255, 0, and then random. Look, you can set a different starting point. So instead of just doing 255, I can say a minimum and a maximum here, and maybe one more parenthesis. So I can get a different image each time this runs. I could even go in and apply this here as well. Right? Maybe I don't want a stroke on this. No stroke. And what's nice about this method is instead of going in and changing the scale here, I can go outside my for loop and just quickly change the scale. So if I want this to be 50 pixels wide, then I can change it pretty quickly. If I wanted this to be 100 pixels, change my scale, my dimensions. If I want it to be super small, let's do 5. Right, and then I can get something that's more akin to noise. And it's got a lot of randomness. It's kind of an interesting way to go. But two for loops will allow you to achieve this gridded set of shapes on your canvas. You're also not limited to using rectangles. Again, ellipse. And this will be offset a bit because our ellipses are drawn from the center, right? So we actually get like this little bit of gap happening here at the bottom and on the outside. So I might change this to ellipse mode and then corner. And then this should take care of Command R. There we go. Now it's set along the outsides. And let's bring this back just so we can see this working correctly. Cool. So this is a way to get a grid working with both using the X position and the Y position as our what we're changing by, and here we're going to change it by the scale rather than +1.